What's up guys, my name is yeat. Welcome to 11% Tutorials. Today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to create the liquid explosion effect. I know you guys heard it once and for all. I'm not gonna hate on this effect, but it's so oversaturated. So I thought I'd make a video showing you guys every single possible way that you can create this effect in After Effects. It's not a bad effect, but it is used a lot. So I'm trying to show you all the single ways that you can use it so that you can, create it in your own style and make it unique and make your effect different. But before we get started, if you guys are new to this channel, please be sure to smash the like button, hit subscribe. If you find this video interesting, we upload here at 11% weekly. So definitely check it out if you're interested in more content like this. But without further ado, let's go ahead and hop right into the tutorial. All right guys, so now that we're finally in After Effects, right here we have a nice clip of Amiri, and like any effect tutorial, one of the first things that we're actually going to do is we're just going to rotoscope it. For those of you who do know how to rotoscope, you can go ahead and skip to this marked time frame. For those of you who don't, we do have a bunch of tutorials on our channel on how to rotoscope really quickly in 5 minutes. I really recommend you go check them out. They're linked right here. But if you want a really quick tutorial where I'm just going to pretty much glimpse over everything, let's dive right into it right now. For those of you who don't know how to rotoscope, just double click the layer that you're trying to rotoscope. Click this roto brush icon in the top left hand corner and simply draw a green line around your subject. After Effects will make a pink outline around your subject or where it thinks your subject is, and then simply just drag and adjust your timeline accordingly and watch to make sure that After Effects' pink highlight doesn't miss any subjects. Right here we have a missing index finger, so we're just going to reselect that. If it selects any areas that you don't want, you can hold Option or Alt if you're on PC, it'll turn red and you can just unselect those areas. Continue this process throughout the rest of your clip, and when you're done, hit the freeze icon. And whew, done. If you come over here back to your original composition tab, you'll be able to see your separated subject. Now we can finally start our effect. One of the first things that we're actually going to do is we're going to come over here to Effects and Presets. Now, as I mentioned in the title, there's multiple ways you can do these liquid explosions. I'm sorry, I'm still just processing that I'm doing another liquid explosion video. It's not that there's nothing wrong with it, it's just very oversaturated. That's why I'm trying to show you different ways that you can do it and also showing you all the ways that people are doing it. And then that way you can just mix and match, create combos, make it unique, make it different. That's what we're all about here at 11%, but I gotta teach you the basics. And first one is the CC Mercury effect. Now this type of liquid explosion is probably one of the most effective. I think it fits the name of the liquid explosion the best. Search up CC Mercury in your effects panel, or just Mercury. I don't know why it didn't come up. There you go, Mr. Mercury, that's what it's called. And what you're basically gonna do, real quick, come over here to your rotoscope subject, hit Command D. Now that we have a duplicated version of our rotoscope layer, you're going to apply the CC Mercury right here to this middle rotoscope layer. Just like that, you'll now see we have some bubbles like going on behind our subject. I'm gonna have you turn off the visibility of everything but that middle layer to see what you're basically doing. And whoa, we just turned Rich Amiri into a puddle. What the heck? So what you're basically gonna do right here is we're gonna come to the very beginning of the clip. We're just going to decrease this velocity to like 0.3, and we're gonna create a keyframe at the very beginning. Remember, you're at the very beginning. Come over here to the middle of the clip and increase the velocity like to a bunch, to like 6 or whatever. And also what we're gonna do is we're going to add some gravity, add gravity to 1.2, 1.3. And what we're gonna do is we're going to increase the birth rate to around 2.7. And now you can see we definitely got a liquid explosion going on right here. I'm actually going to move this velocity keyframe just a little bit closer, just so we have some more actual explosions going on right here. And now you can see it looks like he's turning into a puddle and just splashing around the rest of the scene. Now what we are going to do is we are going to come over here back to the Effects and Presets panel, and we're going to search up Colorama. Now this one I think really just ties into this effect. We're going to apply this back to the same middle layer, and boom, look at that. We created a rainbow blob now. That's kind of wild, huh? You can mess around with the intensities to different, colors, and it just gives you different looks of this heat radiant effect, but just mess around with it, have fun. We're gonna come back to our Effects and Presets, search for glow, and then we're just gonna go ahead and apply glow, just the standard glow, to that middle layer. Once again, increase your radius to about like 200 or 180, and the threshold and everything else you could leave alone. Now we got like a glow liquid going on right here. Still pretty crazy, but not the explosion effect that we're going for. Lastly, what I really think this ties all together is the warp effect. We're going to search up warp in our panel, and we're just going to drag the standard distort warp to our middle clip layer. we're going to change the warp style to twist. Come over here to the very beginning of this clip right after you add this warp, and then click the keyframe on the bend and make sure that's set to like a really high value of like 100. We're gonna come to the very end or the middle, and now we're just gonna set this to 0. And if you play that out, you can see we have a nice twisting effect going on right here. Still looks very static. To fix this, you can click on this graph editor, and then I'm just gonna mess around with some of these anchor heads. This is always fun for me because I just love, I don't know, messing around with like velocities and stuff like that. And if you play it out, create some cool, unique motions, you'll definitely get some weird, trippy looking, like natural movements with your warp effect. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we have the first warp effect. Click the graph editor to exit out of it. And I'm just gonna hit the drop down on all these effects just so we can see our timeline nice and easy. Turn on the visibility of your front and back layer, and now you can see we got a crazy warp effect going on. It's cool, but it still feels a little bit minimal. You can actually just go ahead and increase the scale of this by holding shift, and then that way you can have some more effects going on in your scene. One last thing I would actually do is just make sure I click this motion blur tab so that we have some motion blur to our effect. Make it feel real, make it feel natural. And with that, we have our first liquid explosion effect. Now it's time for part 2. This part 2 is actually really easy because we don't even need a second rotoscope layer. We can go ahead and just turn off the visibility of this middle layer because we're going to be applying all our effects to the bottom layer. This second warp explosion effect revolves around what's called optics compensation. This is basically a lens simulator in After Effects. Search up optics compensation in your effects panel preset and drag it to the very bottom layer. What you're going to do is you're going to come around to the middle or a couple frames in, and we're going to hit a keyframe at 0, then come to the very beginning of your clip, check the reverse lens distortion box and increase this field of view all the way up to about like 200 or 150. That works pretty great. Now you can, if you play it out, you can see we have this crazy like warp zoom in effect already off the bat. It just looks really dope and sick. You can go ahead and add some easy in keyframes to it, but warp's compensation is one of the few effects where I feel like you don't even need to add anything. It's really just perfect the way it is. Anyways, after this, what we're gonna do is we're going to add a map effect. Search up map in your effects and presets and add the displacement map right here to that bottom layer. Come to this last keyframe that you have set at 0 of your optics compensation and hit a keyframe on the max horizontal and max vertical. Then you're gonna come to the very beginning of the clip once again and increase this map all the way up to like 100, 900, 600. And then what you're gonna do is we're gonna hit the checkbox on the warp pixels around. And when you play this out, finally, you can see we have a crazy like melting scene going on here in the background. Now, this is where most people stop. Because we're here at 11%, you know you came here because we love to spice things up. Always do that extra mile, not that extra 10%, but that extra 11%, because you know what's up? I just made that up like right now. But what we're gonna do is we're going to add a warp effect. We're gonna come over here to warp and come back here to your distorts. We're just going to add another warp that like we added previously, but this time you're going to change this warp style to squeeze. And then we're just gonna go ahead and set this keyframe to 90 at the very beginning and then 0 towards the middle. I'm actually gonna go ahead and drag this warp before our optics compensation, just so that the optics compensation is actually applied to the warp. And now you can see our scene just looks really trippy. Now it's time to actually add some liquid glow. This right here spices it up. This is the sauce, your sauce. It's called glow in After Effects. That's all you literally gotta add. Add a glow to this bottom layer that we've been messing around with. Change the original colors to A and B colors. And now I want you to go ahead and set this color to any color you like. I'm gonna choose some pink over here because that's kind of hard. And then what you're gonna do is you're going to increase the glow radius to like 200, and then the threshold you can just mess around with depending on your scene. That's really up to you. And now you can see if we play this out, we have some crazy warping going on with our glow and our effect. Everything just looks really sick. And if you really want to close it out, you can go ahead and of course keyframe this glow intensity to just ease out. Set that to 0, hit OK. And when you finally play this out, Boom. We have some crazy liquid effects going on right here. And with that, guys, those are the top 2 ways to create crazy liquid explosion effects. There are so many more ways that you can do this. Now in the video, I mentioned all the ways that you can create a liquid explosion effect. But as I mentioned in this tutorial, these are pretty much all the ways that I'm telling you all your creators, all your other video editor tutorials are creating this crazy trippy liquid effect that you're probably seeing in a bunch of awesome dope music videos. You're gonna create a dope effect by just simply messing around and switching around these different effects that we've gone over in this tutorial. So like I said, really go at it, make it your own, make it unique, make yours different, because that's what we really encourage here at 11%. And with that, here is the final effect. If you guys made it to the end of the video, thank you again so much for watching. If you haven't already, please be sure to smash the like button, hit subscribe. It's free, all this content is free, so it really means a lot. If you had any questions or concerns throughout the entirety of the video, or would like to see any other type of content from us in the future, please be sure to leave a comment down below. I love to hear what you guys have to say. Also remember to follow us on Instagram at 11%prod. We'd love to see what you guys create. Once again, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.